Moments with Mark, Mark chapter 9. We are picking up at verse 14. When they returned to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd surrounding them, and some teachers of religious law were arguing with them. When the crowd saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with awe, and they ran to greet him. Jesus and Peter, James, and John had just had a mountaintop experience. They come down from the mountain, and they're greeted by a bunch of people who have needs. They're greeted by people who want to receive from Jesus and his disciples. And that's true in life. We need mountaintop experiences, but we also need to come down from the mountain and meet people where they are and help people where they are. Verse 16. What is all this arguing about? Jesus asked. One of the men in the crowd spoke up and said, Teacher, I brought my son so you could heal him. He is possessed by an evil spirit that won't let him talk. And whenever the spirit seizes him, it throws him violently to the ground. Then he foams at the mouth and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast out the evil spirit, but they couldn't do it. So here we have a father bringing his son to Jesus, saying, I need your help. I need your direction. I need you to intervene. And as parents, certainly we can feel for this father who has a son that needs desperate help. And the father is interceding. The father is pleading for the help that is needed for his son. Verse 19. Jesus said to them, You faithless people, how long must I be with you? How long must I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. Good principle here is to bring all your problems to Jesus. Bring your boy to me. Bring your kids to Jesus. Bring your grandkids to Jesus. Take your issues, your worries, your anxieties. Take them to Jesus in prayer. Lay them at his feet. Ask for his help, his guidance. So they brought the boy, but when the evil spirit saw Jesus, it threw the child into a violent convulsion, and he fell to the ground, writhing and foaming at the mouth. Here we have a desperate father and an overwhelmed son that needs Jesus' intervention for help. And so we pick it up at verse 21. How long has this been happening? Jesus asked the boy's father. He replied, Since he was a little boy. The spirit often throws him into the fire or into the water trying to kill him. And let me just point out here that the devil and his demons are only after our destruction. Sin may be pleasurable for a moment, but ultimately the path of evil, the path of sin, leads down a terrible destructive path. It's a spiral of darkness and gloom and pain. Have mercy on us and help us if you can. And John 10:10 says, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus has come to give us life, and life more abundant. What do you mean, if I can? Jesus asked. Anything is possible if a person believes. By the word belief in the New Testament, it generally means having faith, trusting and relying on God. Here in this story, it means trust and rely on Jesus Christ, that he can do what he says he can do. The father instantly cried out, I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. So he has some doubts, but at least he's honest about it and asks for help for his unbelief. When Jesus saw that the crowd of onlookers was growing, he rebukes the evil spirit. Listen, you spirit that makes this boy unable to hear and speak, he said, I command you to come out of this child and never enter him again. Then the spirit screamed and threw the boy into a violent convulsion and left him. The boy appeared to be dead. A murmur ran through the crowd as people said, He's dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and helped him to his feet, and he stood up. Afterward, when Jesus was alone in the house with his disciples, they asked him, "Hey, Jesus, why couldn't we cast out the evil spirit? He asked us to help and we couldn't help. Why couldn't we do that?" And they were really overwhelmed by the problem. And for whatever reason, we see that they were not able to cast out the demon. And verse 29 tells us, Jesus replied, "This kind can be cast out only by prayer." Some versions say prayer and fasting. But the idea is that you must rely not on yourself, you must rely on God. Prayer is a part of that reliance, that trust that we need to combat evil in our day and in our lives. We must have faith, reliance upon Jesus, going to God in prayer, laying everything at his feet, and then trusting that he knows best.